Hey there, in this video I'll show you how to set up your iPhone 16 Pro and get you to the homepage as quickly as possible. And keep watching as I'll share some essential tips and tricks to get the most out of your iPhone 16 Pro. So let's get started. First off, select your language. I'll select English. Next, select your country or region. For me, it's the United Kingdom. From here, we can select Appearance, choose how you would like text and icons to look on your phone. We have Default, Medium or Large. I'll stick with Default, click Continue. We have Quick Start, where it's looking for a nearby device to transfer information. We'll set up without another device. Written and spoken languages. Here you can see it says English UK, I'm happy with that. I'll go Set up later in settings. Now it wants to connect to Wi-Fi, so select your Wi-Fi and enter your password. The next message says it may take a few minutes to activate your iPhone, so we'll just wait for a short while. Following on, we have a message about data and privacy. We click Continue. Set up iPhone. I'm setting this up for myself. You have an option to set up for a child in my family. Face ID. I'll set this up later just because of the interests of time, but I'll show you where you can set this up. Create an iPhone passcode. Now, here we have some options. We can go to passcode options. We can choose an alphanumeric code, which will allow us to choose a word with numbers and special characters. Or we can choose 6 digits, 4 digits, or don't use passcode. I'm going to use 6 digits. I will use a simple one. I suggest you use one more complicated. Transfer your apps and data. This is if you're restoring from another device. I'm going to say don't transfer anything. Here we can enter the Apple ID if you have one, or you can create an account. For the interest of time, I'm going to skip this. I'll show you where you can add this later. But for now, I'm going to go to Forgot Password or Don't Have an Account. Set up later in settings, don't use. Terms and conditions, click Agree. Update your iPhone automatically. I'm going to go with Continue for this. iMessage and FaceTime will say Continue. Location services, I'll turn them on, but of course if you don't want to, you can just say Set up later. Set up mobile services. This is if you have an eSIM, you may have a QR code and you can use this option here. But I'll say set up later in settings. Screen time, if you'd like to generate a report on how much time you spend on screen. iPhone analytics, you can share with Apple or don't share. Light or dark display, that's what dark display looks like, and auto will change with the time of day. I'll just leave it on light for now. Silent mode, you can toggle silent mode on and off or check its status in the control center. And we have the action button on the left-hand side. I'll go into more detail once we get to the home screen. So I'll say not now. We have the camera control button. It's just letting us know it's there. We'll continue and we'll look at that later. Here we have the SIRI. I'll say set up later in settings. Emergency SOS, just click continue. And now we have welcome to iPhone. Swipe up to get started. So here we are now at the home screen. And this I'm sure looks very familiar to you. What we want to do now is go to settings. And the options we bypassed, we can get to here by saying finish setting up your iPhone. So we can just press this button. And as you can see, we have some options here. If I say finish setting up, it will ask for my passcode. And I can run through the options I said I'd set up later. Now we're back at the main settings window. Let's make a few changes to improve the experience. The first thing to do is to change the auto lock time, because the default is only 30 seconds. To do this, we scroll down to display and brightness. Then we scroll down again. We have auto lock, and let's change this for 5 minutes for now. I wouldn't suggest never, however, it's your choice. We'll go back and back again. Now let's take a look at that action button. So just on this main menu again, we go to action button, and the action button is just on the side of the iPhone on the left hand side. When we press and hold, you can just see at the top, an action takes place. In this case, it's silent mode, and we can swipe through. We can choose focus. We could perhaps have do not disturb. So if I press this button now, we get do not disturb turned on, do not disturb turned off. We'll scroll again. We have a camera. You can go to photo, selfie, video, portrait, portrait, selfie. Swipe again. We can use a flashlight. Create a voice memo. Use Shazam. Use translate. The magnifier. We can choose a control from the control center just by clicking choose control and selecting one of these. We can use a shortcut, an accessibility option, or we can have it do nothing. So I'm going to leave it on the silent mode option, like so. So if I press and hold, we have silent or ring. So let's come out of that. So now we'll take a look at the camera button and how we can improve it. So if we lift up the iPhone, on the right hand side, we have the camera button just here. If I press it, it launches the camera app. Now, if I press it gently, I get the option to zoom in and zoom out. And if I tap twice, we go through some functions. So I have styles, tone, cameras, zoom, depth, and exposure. If I tap on one of these, I can adjust. So the button is a little finicky, but I'll show you how to make this a little easier to drive. And what we do is we'll go back to settings. We'll go to accessibility, camera control, which is just here. And we have this option here called light press force. Let's make it lighter. That really does make a good difference. You'll really appreciate that. And at the bottom of the screen, we have double light press speed. If we make it slower, what this means is the menus will remain on screen for a little bit longer. So I think slower is better. But again, you can just play with these options and find that sweet spot for you. So if I just go back to the camera, and as you can see, it's just so much easier to control now. And one more thing on the camera, if you notice on the right hand side, you lose the photo menu here. If we want to bring this back, we're currently in the clean option, but if we want this back, here's what we do. We go back to settings. We come back from camera control, back up. We go to camera, then camera control, just at the top here, and we turn off clean preview. When we go back, open the camera, and as you can see, the options still remain. Now, if you'd like to change your video recording settings so you can record 4K, go to settings. We'll come back. We'll start at the main settings screen, then go to camera. And just here, we have the option record video, and you can change to 4K if you so wish. And the last tip is to customize your home screen. To do this, press and hold in a clear space on the home page. And just at the top, there's edit. Press that, and we want to customize. Now at the bottom, we have some options. We can change the icons to large, and this takes away the text for a cleaner look. We can go small again. We can choose light, dark, automatic, and we can have tinted where we can change the colors. So there's plenty of options there and many ways you can customize and make your iPhone 16 Pro your own. So I hope you found this video useful. Really appreciate it if you can give it a thumbs up if you have. Thanks very much for choosing it, and I wish you a great day and great fun with your iPhone 16 Pro.